So Aaron says he started reading Awaken the Giant Within and is so far really happy with the clear methods. That's fantastic. It is an awesome book, and you'll love it. What kind of dryland ball or puck do you like to use? I'm working on my roll at the back with a black weighted smart ball. Yeah, that's a good one to use. I had one of those smart balls. I don't think I've used the green biscuit. I think I'm too old to have used the green biscuit. I think people started using that by the time I was done doing buying the trinkets. But I have one of those small stick handling balls. In terms of rejecting drone drills and coaching, how do you recommend doing so respectfully with your head coach when your head coach promotes drone mentality? For example, my coach often screams for guys to dump the puck in despite having lanes into the zone, basically limiting creativity. You know what, Trevor? I'm not sure how, because you're not the first person to to say that. And actually, I'm going to be doing a presentation on how to hypnotize your coach in a probably tomorrow or the next day, because if you don't think persuasion and persuading your coach and the perception you give off to your coach is important, you're in trouble. Like, we all love Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby because they give the correct perception, but who knows what they're like behind closed doors. And I'm not saying they're bad people. What I'm saying is that they've dialed in the persuasion in hockey, right? They've persuaded millions of people to love them, including their coaches. How many other players do you know who had a ton of talent who simply didn't have the correct approach to dealing with their coaches? Or maybe it was their parents. So understanding, and I fly in the face of this because of where I stand in hockey, is that I am a bit of a maverick. I am thinking counter to a lot of common thoughts. So I'm okay to go and say a whole bunch of, go on a rooftop and scream bullshit. But if you as a player are doing that, it's a little bit more of a delicate situation. So I just wanted to explain my thoughts there. In terms of rejecting the drone drills, see them for what they are, and then figure out a way to play within those rules to create hockey sense for yourself. And then in terms of the coaching, when they're doing things that are obviously counterproductive, or they're telling you things that are obviously counterproductive, make a bit of a game out of it. And that game is to see if you can prove them wrong without telling them that you're proving them wrong. So, if they're screaming at you to dump it, you ask yourself, and actually I'm going to go ahead and tell this story in a second here. But if they're screaming at you to dump it and you think you can make the play, dare yourself to make the play and see if it works out, and just be okay with the consequences. Now here's the story, and I've told this once before on a blog article on the coach's site. And that is this story. The best player I ever played with, the best player I ever played with, he was a year older than me. We were at the Bantam Provincials. You can figure out who he is, and if you figure out where I'm from. But he plays in the NHL now, one of the best players in the league. And he did this crazy thing. We're in provincials, and we're in the semifinals. This is a high-pressure game. He goes into the corner, he walks out, he does a high-risk maneuver, like a high-risk move, and then he loses the puck. And, a lot of coaches and players would all say, don't make the same mistake twice, right? That's what I thought in my head. So when this player on the exact same shift comes out of the corner in the exact same way against the exact same player and tries the exact same move, is doing this in my head, and probably vocally, I was screaming, "Don't make the same mistake twice. Don't make the same mistake twice," which is what all drone coaches, tell you to do. And what did this player do? Remember, this guy is in the NHL. We played together in the same small association. he did the exact same move the exact same way. It worked. He went in and scored. Do you think a coach said to him, hey, don't do that again? Do you think so? The guy had such belief in himself. He rejected, not rudely, but he rejected the drone coach's mentality. But he did it, and it served him well. No, it wasn't Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I'm not from Burnaby or Vancouver or wherever he was. Keep digging. So that's my story there for rejecting that. So I'm going to go and continue on talking about being a puppeteer.